Do you know what time it is? Tool time!
Welcome to the Hard Mode Podcast. I'm Dan. He's an idiot. That's Tim.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Welcome back to another episode. This week we're going to be talking about a few games that we played, some things that happened this week on the internet involving video games, and
Indeed.
anything else that we sort of just wander into in the middle of our discussions.
Facts, Jack.
So, do you want to start off with talking about Warzone Zombies?
Yeah, let's rip it off with Warzone, because that's one of the biggest discussed things on the internet. And we played some zombies, we played some night mode. They added Verdansk with the lights off, which is somewhat cool. There's good things and bad things.
I think night mode mixes it up a bit.
I agree. It takes it adds some different kind of almost mechanics, because you have to deal with that aspect of it.
Yeah, and the interiors have different lighting that is way brighter, so it's easier to tell if people are inside. Outside, it's a little tougher to tell if people are there.
It's also weird because there's something with the lighting where when you're in the building and you look outside, it's darker.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
till you walk out
adjusting.
Yeah, but it's a little bit of overkill.
It's focusing or something. I don't know how it works.
Basically, if you're in a building and you're looking out of the building, you're at a very big disadvantage because the people outside can clearly see you and you can't see them at all.
Right.
It's pretty rough.
But I think even though the map is exactly the same, I think by them changing the time of day, it does mix things up.
Yeah, a little bit.
It makes it feel a little fresh.
Made it feel
rather
different.
Than playing the same thing over and over for a million years.
I agree. They could have maybe, I don't know. I understand that lighting's a huge thing, so that's not really an easy thing to do. I don't like the eye adjustment thing. I think the buildings are almost too bright at times, and then there's certain buildings that aren't as bright, like Superstore's dark for some reason. I would think they would I guess it makes sense because Superstore would be closed at night.
Super intense. I think they intentionally did that, super
But dude, there's times where I'm in Superstore when it's dark and you can't see anything, and then there's certain skins, character skins people can play as, the one woman who has the skin where she's in a full black bodysuit. She's invisible. She is straight up invisible. You can't see her in Superstore. She's an invisible person. It's insane.
And then they have zombies mode, where if you die you turn into a zombie who can jump like Superman,
really high,
leap a tall building in a single bound.
It's almost like a prototype or Infamous jump, because that's what that reminds me of. Or Crackdown, those types of games where you can just go from the ground to up on a building with a jump. You just go all the way up in the air. It's actually, the zombies is surprisingly fun, and I think a lot of people who play the game, it's getting a pretty good reception. So.
And plus you can get your teammates back, right?
You can just keep spawning in. As long as you don't get killed as a zombie. Once you get killed as a zombie, you're dead, but your teammates can also buy you back. So it's there's so much potential for high kills and that kind of stuff. And every time you come back as a human, you keep your stuff, which is what's been really insane. So the last 2 circles, there'll be 20 people left or whatever, but every time you're a zombie, you go and pick up 2 syringes, you respawn as a human, and your loadout is just in your hand when you spawn. So you just start fighting immediately. There's no oh, I killed that guy because he spawned in with a pistol, stuff like that. So it makes those final circles absolute chaos, because everybody has good gear all the time. It's pretty nuts.
Warzone's pretty fun.
That's definitely the best limited time mode that Warzone has done, because the other ones were pretty terrible.
Some good stuff for Halloween for once.
Yeah, I like it.
Plus, there's some optional loot you can find that gets you.
The trick or treating thing, which I still don't have all of them yet.
At least they're finally mixing up some things rather than just saying.
At least they tried.
Yeah, they tried their best, and that's really all you can ask
Both
for.
teams are trying very hard.
Indeed, they are.
Indeed. Indubitably.
So
that was a Bobby Poff reference. Shout out to Bobby Poff.
I think it would make sense for Treyarch to make a zombies mode because they are known for zombies in Call of Duty. Like, why would they not?
It would be. It's actually. I thought about that already. It would be surprising to me if the reason that they made this zombies thing wasn't because there's something with the new Black Ops Cold War map for Warzone that's coming out involving zombies. Like, remember in Blackout on the last game, what was it, Black Ops 4? Remember in Black Ops 4 there was like the graveyard where the zombies were just on the map?
That one
like they were just there. Like, I would bet money that this new Black Ops Cold War map is going to have them somewhere on the map, and so they were making them anyway, and they're literally using a Halloween event to test this out before Black Ops Cold War drops, and then they go, hey, here's the new map, it's the Black Ops Cold War version, and also this one spot, zombies, because Treyarch makes zombies games.
Yeah, and it would make sense to have it as a permanent game mode in Black Ops.
Yep.
Like, why would you not?
Yep.
I think,
and the fact that they I mean, obviously they already made it so you can play as them, so I feel like, I don't know, they should do something that's more than a limited time mode with that. I was already thinking about, like, on top of, like, regular, like, Nazi zombies where you just kill waves of enemies, I was already thinking about, like, beast mode from Gears of War. Like, what if they just let one team be zombies and one team be humans, and that was what zombies was, or like that was a version of it, not necessarily the whole thing, obviously, but I don't know how they could do it, but it could be nuts.
I think it makes sense for them to have zombies, and I wouldn't mind having like the neutral party of zombies on the map, just like Black Ops 4. So I think it makes sense. My dream for Cold War Warzone is to not have skyscrapers.
Oh, dude, that would be incredible.
That would be crazy.
I hope. I don't know. Didn't nothing happen during the Cold War? Isn't that why it's called the Cold War? But man, it would be great if like the whole map was nuked, so there was just no buildings.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. The worst part of Warzone is everybody sitting on the buildings.
Yeah, I really hope there's not like outrageous buildings or anything.
We literally play Warzone for a match for 20 minutes, and then we're like, oh, we got a bounty. Where is it? And we look on the map, and it's in downtown, and we just go, we're not going there, and then we just go somewhere else.
Not worth it.
It's not even fun. It's so bad. That whole part of the map, like, ugh, don't even get me started. All right, let's move on from that.
All right, so this week I continued my October horror video game sequence. I did Dead Space 1 and 2. No, I finished Resident Evil 7 last night.
Shoo!
Resident Evil 7 was my favorite game of, 2017?
Resident Evil 7 is one of my favorite games of all time. That game is really good.
Yeah, so I played through it again after not having played it since 2017 or 2018, early 2018, I think, maybe.
And you were just as scared.
I don't know, whatever. The atmosphere in that game and the jump scares and stuff, you can know that they're coming and they still get you, like, because it's just terrifying. And I can't even imagine playing that in VR. Like, it's absurd.
That game's nutty. That's I'm someone who doesn't get scared of those games that easily, and that game made me crap my pants.
Yeah, so the whole first half of the game where you're going into the side house and then the mansion, you find Mia and you're like finding these VHS tapes that kind of like show you secrets and show what happened and all that kind of stuff. Give you some
information.
That first half of the game is just
It's marvelous.
Incredible.
It really
it's
is.
It's so good.
And it builds up like the atmosphere and like the area you're in and the story, all while like progressing you and kind of leveling you because you're like getting better and more weapons and crap like that.
And all the little boss fights are so good.
It's marvelous.
Fighting Mia, that guy, the dad, whatever his name is, I forget what his name is.
Yeah, I forget.
And then he like gets in the car and starts like squealing.
When you're in the garage with him and he like
the car turns on a dime,
dude.
But that whole section and like when the one part where he busts through the wall and then starts chasing you, it is like it's like the other games with like Nemesis and what is it? What's the other guy with the hat
I don't know what you're talking about.
in Resident Evil 2?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember the names of anything, bro.
Is it Mr. X or
Professor X?
Yeah, it's Professor X.
Charles Xavier.
So it gives you that feeling like you're being chased and you have to hide, and it's so intense. And then I love the house with the bugs with the old woman, where she's just like the worst.
I don't know love.
So
I don't know if
terrifying.
love is the word.
And she calls you a shitcock like multiple times when you're in the house. She's like, "You stupid shitcock."
Dude, she is horrifying.
She is terrifying.
The first time she like pops out on you and she's in like her spider form or whatever that is, I literally I remember specifically she popped out on me. I screamed. I literally paused the game and then just sat there for 5 minutes and had to like recover.
You know where you've been like getting all this stuff so you can get across and go up the stairs, and then when you get to the top of the stairs, she comes out. I literally was like, I know she's gonna pop out, and she popped out, and I was still like, oh!
It still gets
and I, like,
you, dude.
jumped.
There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Because she is just horrifying.
There's a spot in the beginning where Mia runs up the stairs, and you open the door, and she's like right there. When I replayed the game for a second time, I literally got to that point, and I went, she's gonna be right here. I'm not going to let it scare me. I know it's coming. She's going to be right there. And I jumped 3 feet. It got me so good still.
I would hate it, but I would love to play it in VR because I can't imagine. Like,
it's got to be horrifying,
how
dude.
terrifying it is.
But, like, I think we talked about this last week, was the stealth mission on Call of Duty. How it, like, is so compact and it makes you feel like you're, like... immersed because it's so small. I feel like that's how the entirety of Resident Evil 7 is.
Yeah, so that...
It's not a big area.
Everything up until that is, like, to me, just, like, amazing. And then the son brings you into that one part of the house where he has, like, an escape room for you and stuff.
It's, like, carnival stuff, right? That kind of thing.
I don't mind that part. I honestly really like the escape room stuff, especially how they give you the VHS tape and show you, like, one of the cameramen from the beginning of the game, like, when you first find that thing, and it shows them going into the house. It, like, gives you the preview of how to solve the escape room without actually following all the steps that he had to that killed him.
Right.
Which is, like, amazing. But, like... that I think that's where the game starts to go downhill a little bit.
Why?
Because basically that area is not really that scary at all. Because that guy is just constantly in your ear talking. He's not that creepy. He's just kind of like a lunatic.
I felt like that part wasn't supposed to be that scary, though.
Yeah.
I almost took that as like a break, and then it gave you like puzzles and stuff to solve outside of like just... So the game wasn't just a jump scare every 10 seconds. I felt like they like slowed it down a little bit.
And they throw that first like big boss thing at you that throws up on you in there, which that fight is pretty good. And then there's just like all those exploding traps, which is just like... It's fine, but it's not hard to avoid exploding traps because you can see them.
See them, yeah.
But, and then there's the kind of, like, escape when you find Zoe and Mia. And then there's the ship where you're playing as Mia. And, like, that whole section where you escape, you are on the ship, and then you're in, like, the tunnels underground before you head back.
Yeah.
All the enemies are just those black gooey things or the big throw-up guys. And it's like, dude, these are not interesting enemies. They're not even, like, zombies or, like, something that can throw something at you. Like, they just walk at you.
Yeah.
There's only 3 variations of the black...
I mean, there's only so many things you can do with zombies.
I know, but they did interesting stuff with Resident Evil 4 with, like, guys that can throw stuff. The lady with the scythe that just, like, basically charges at you like a lunatic. Then you have, like, the gigantic guy. Like there's a million guys. There's the chainsaw people. But the black gook things are like bullet sponges, and they just like... They're not interesting enemies at all, to me. Like, I love the game. I think it's amazing, but my major complaints are the last like quarter of the game, the black goo enemies, and the inventory system. I hate the inventory system.
I honestly don't really remember the inventory system, so I can't really comment on that.
Resident Evil 7, like I recently played Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, 4, and then I just played 7 this week. And 7 has way more collectible, like things you can find in the world, like ammo, stuff to like combine like herbs and all that stuff to make things. But it also has like way more keys than the other games. And they don't tell you like, oh, you can just throw this key away because you're done with it or whatever. Or same thing with like the VHS tapes, like technically you can throw them away, but like it doesn't say like, hey, you can throw this away real quick.
Right.
So you're constantly running out of inventory space. I feel like I could have cut like an hour and a half of
I
play
feel like
time.
that's every game that has an inventory system, though. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game where I thought, like, man, that inventory system where I had to, like, manage how much stuff I had, that was a lot of fun.
Well, they made Resident Evil 4's inventory interesting because you could, like, adjust how everything was because it was, like, a big case. And you could, like, rotate
like Tarkov.
it. Yeah. And, like, you can actually manage the inventory. But in this, it's just, like, this gun takes up 2 slots now, and if you want to hotkey it, guess what?
I don't know, man.
You gotta move it up to the top.
I've always, even like Fallout and Elder Scrolls games, I've always felt like as soon as the game makes me just either throw stuff away or scrap stuff just so I can pick up more stuff, I'm like, why is this even in the game? Like,
it's not fun.
I'm currently holding 15 swords, 18 shields, and 12 helmets, but because I just picked up 2 wheels of cheese, now I have to drop something. Like,
right. Yeah, inventory systems are typically not fun. They don't like,
add value to the game. They don't make anything good happen.
The only thing they do is just like
annoy you. Yeah, it makes you roll your eyes and then stop playing for a minute.
It just adds like annoying playtime. Like, I understand you want to limit how much.
Yeah, like it would be overpowered, but it would be overpowered to be able to hold everything in the game. But you need to find a way to either make it worth my time to manage that inventory by rewarding me for it, or letting me like, hey, if you take these 5 swords to Jimmy Smith down the street, then he'll give you whatever, and you like upgrade your stuff or whatever, stuff like that.
And like Resident Evil games let you upgrade how much room you have, but then you're like, oh yeah, there's that room back there that I can go pick up that stuff, and then you go there and then you're full again.
You're full again, yeah. So it's like you didn't gain anything.
This game, Resident Evil 7, gives you like exorbitant amounts of ammo, but every single enemy is such a bullet sponge. The flamethrower is practically useless against the black gooey guys that are like Evelyn's.
Yeah, because you can like light them on fire for 5 minutes.
Yeah, they just don't die. Like, and then the submachine gun thing is just hot garbage. Like, they give you so much ammo, but it legit takes like 35 bullets to kill something, and it's like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah. What the hell is even that?
What the hell is even that? So, Resident Evil 7 is a great game, and that first like 3/4 of the game up until the ship section, I think are like masterpiece level. Like the atmosphere, the level design, the whole house,
the horror,
the scares. Like, everything. The sounds.
Yeah, that game's good.
The fact that it's, like, first person.
I like
the fact that the old lady in the wheelchair just, like, shows up in random places. Like, I was just here, and now all of a sudden she's just, like
over
and
there.
she's just, like, looking at you, like, and she follows you with her eyes, like she's a painting on the wall and stuff.
What is it about, like, horror movies and games and having someone just sit in a chair and look at you, and somehow it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Like,
man.
why? Like, I'm sitting in a chair right now, and I can look at you, and it's not scary. But if it's in a dark hallway and they're all the way down there and they're just staring at you, it's the creepiest thing on earth. I have no idea why.
I really love all the fights with like the Baker family are just like so good. Like the garage with the father, then the father in the one area where you get the chainsaw and you can fight them.
Is that like the dining area?
No. You're talking the dining areas when they like
when they're all there.
When they're all there and they try and like force you to eat the like bugs and stuff.
You fight the mom in like the shed, basically, right?
It's
or
like
whatever that is.
The like greenhouse or something like that. I don't know. It's like a barn or something.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about he gets like the shears and tries to like cut your head
Yeah,
off
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, and you get the chainsaw and you can kick like the dead pigs that are hanging on chains at him and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Like that fight's so great. The fight with Spider Mom is horrifying because she can just like come down from the ceiling and attack you and stuff. It's so good, but that last couple sections are just not
Spider Mom.
The last few sections are just not interesting. Like the whole ship doesn't have anything like you learn what happened to like bring Mia to the Bakers and all that stuff, but as far as like enemies and gameplay, it is not very interesting to me. Like, sure, it still has that classic, like, Resident Evil, like, oh, I can't get in this door, so I gotta go find this. And then you come back and you open it, and then there's something else you can get.
Well, like I was saying with the brother part, do you think that's because they don't want to take away from, like, the story that you're learning and all that kind of stuff with, like, new fights and, like, scares and stuff, and that's what the gameplay is based around, so they avoid that and give you like some puzzles and some story progression?
But games have done that.
I'm not saying that they couldn't do it a different way. I'm saying, do you think that's what they did?
Well, I think they just
or do you think they just
wanted to cut costs? I don't know. I really want to play Resident Evil 8 though. I'm very excited for that. Like,
Village, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
After playing
that trailer looked insane.
Yeah, and after playing 7 again, like, the fact that Ethan and Mia...
Is it connected? Is it the same characters?
Ethan and Mia are both in it, and then Chris Redfield's in it. And Chris shows up at the end of 7 as well, when you are fighting the final boss, which I won't say anything. Also, the final boss kind of is trash. Like, it's not an interesting fight at all. They basically take your ability to move away, and then you just have to shoot. But, like, you can't see any damage being done or, like, making progress in the fight. Like, you just shoot until you run out of bullets, basically. I don't know. But that first 3/4 of the game, all the way up until the escape where you go to the ship, I think is, like, 10 out of 10 masterpiece level. And that last quarter is, like...
I'm very interested in Village because from the trailer, wasn't there like snow and like it seemed like there was like outdoor stuff in the trailer?
Yeah, it seems like you're in this big village.
Which is kind of insane to me because if you're going through like a whole village and it's like snowy outside and they're somehow going to incorporate like zombies in like that's never been done. Like, have you ever seen zombies in the snow?
Dead Space 3, but
I never played Dead Space 3, so
Dead Space 3.
Wait, would we count The Last of Us? I guess there's zombies in the snow in the first one.
Yeah, that's true. And the second one.
Oh yeah, true. So, forget everything I said. But what I'm saying is like in The Last of Us, it's the same like regular zombies like coming at them. Like it's runners, you know? Mm-hmm. And in Resident Evil, they're constantly creating like unique versions of zombies, like basically monsters, like different things.
And like people that are like still kind of
human
people,
but aren't really. And
which
then,
is
like,
why I'm saying the black goo enemies suck, because Resident Evil always has interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, they probably thought that was interesting when they made it. But what I'm saying is they could somehow incorporate that into a snowy village, and I'm very interested to see how they do it.
I'm definitely picturing like a almost Castlevania style map where like you start at the bottom of a mountain and you want to work your way up to a castle on a mountain. And, like, first you explore this village and you have to figure out a way up to the next area. And the next area you're going through the woods and it's nighttime and it's creepy as hell. And then you move up and then you're in, like,
expect there to be creepy woods.
Yeah. And then you move up. This is, like, all me speculating, but you move up, then you're in this huge-ass castle that's, like, the houses or the, like, police station in Resident Evil 2 or, like, the house in Resident Evil 7 or whatever. Or like that big mansion in Resident Evil 4 with little George Washington kid.
You get me a little bit excited for
yeah.
Village.
Resident Evil is a consistently good series, other than like 6 being kind of like
Meh.
outside of the norm for Resident Evil. Like,
I mean,
really,
they basically created the formula for survival horror games, so they know what they're doing.
I really, really like Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, 4. 5 is like one of my favorite memories of playing with our friend Steve in co-op, like every day on Resident Evil 5. Like, such a fun game. And then Resident Evil 7 is by far the scariest, and it's really
solid
good.
Gameplay and
really good. And just the fact that like your girlfriend,
he did that 3 times, so I want to do it.
Yeah, your girlfriend comes out and she's like, "Don't worry, it's just me." And then she cuts your friggin' hand off with a chainsaw and stuff. Like,
dude,
that
she's so
wild.
freaky in that game.
She's like, you can clearly tell, like, she's a normal person and she's attractive and all that. And then she's just like, but that really hurt. And then she just like nails your hand to the wall. And
dude,
stuff.
it's insane.
But yeah, that game, I love it still.
I feel like that makes it creepier, and more zombie movies and games should do that, where they're like still in there. So it's like, you know, like in like the first thing I think of is like Walking Dead. They're like, oh, that used to be Carl. I said Carl as a random name, but that's actually a Walking Dead character. All right, a random name, Jonas. That used to be Jonas, and now it's a zombie. So now we shoot him in the head. Yeah. But like in Resident Evil, it's like she's talking to you like she's your girlfriend.
You don't want to kill her.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, she's a normal person, and then she's nuts. She's a zombie.
Speaking of that, I just watched The Evil Dead yesterday. That movie I was telling you about, where it's like I watched the original Evil Dead by Sam Raimi, the guy who made like the first.
I know they came out with the amazing remake or
the original Toby Spider-Man.
Isn't there like a reboot of Evil Dead now or something?
I think so. But basically, that movie's like these people go into the woods in a cabin. It's a typical horror story. They go into the woods. They find like this recording and a book that have like this and like chant that people do, and it brings demons to life, and then
they do it.
They play the recording of it, and the guy says it, and the demons start possessing all the people in the cabin. But like there's parts where the demons are like, no, it's just me, it's fine, it's okay. And then the demon changes back and starts attacking them, and it's just like that.
I always think it's creepier when they, like, humanize the monster, so it, like, seems like it could be a person. Like, if it's just a straight-up monster, I'm not really scared of it, because I 100% know that that's not a real thing, and it, like, it's just, its sole purpose is to try and scare me and murder things. But when you see it, like, be a human, then you start thinking, like, I'm looking at him, and I'm just like, dude... he could turn into that right now.
I personally find horror scarier when it's more grounded. Like, it's not just completely
like outrageous stuff, right?
Like Freddy Krueger going into your dreams and stuff.
Right, like I don't find it that scary.
Right,
because it's like a
supernatural
demon.
Clown.
It's a supernatural demon clown, and there's parts of that are scary, obviously, but it's not like, I don't know. It's that movie. The newest one's actually really funny. Or the first one. I didn't see the second one.
I haven't watched It Part 2 at all.
But the first one was actually pretty funny. But there were creepy parts, definitely.
Like, I honestly like horror movies that are less like jump scary and like typical horror, and more like the dread and stuff like that, where you just don't know what's gonna happen. Because
you like thrillers.
We watched like,
I think that's those better.
What did we watch? Hereditary. Remember that?
Dude, that movie was so ridiculous.
The girl's head gets knocked off and stuff.
Yeah, there was so much stuff that, like, off the walls nonsense in that movie that, like, I don't know. I mean, it was like creepy, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was just such random stuff happening. It didn't make sense.
I watched The Witch, which is by the same guy who did The Lighthouse. Remember we went and saw that?
Yep.
And The Witch, I honestly like The Witch more than The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse was the weirdest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. The Witch is basically like these pilgrims get thrown out of their little town for some reason. I can't remember. and so they leave, and then their baby gets like taken into the woods,
like White Walkers.
Yeah, and in the beginning of the movie, like it shows that there's a witch living in the woods, and it takes the baby, and then like by the end of the movie, you find out that there's a goat that's literally Satan that's on like their property, and like it's creepy, but like the whole time you know that something's going on, but the family doesn't. So it like brings you to like, no, don't do that. Like,
so
that
you're like an omnipotent watcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of. My favorite horror movies are Haunted House 1 and 2 by by Marlon Wayans. They're absolutely hilarious. And my first time ever watching the first one, the lady who was possessed was crouched in the corner making weird noises, and I said out loud, "Man, she's acting like the witch from Left 4 Dead." And then 3 seconds later, Cedric the Entertainer went, "It's like the witch from Left 4 Dead," and it was the funniest thing that ever happened to me.
That really did happen.
It was like, I swear I never saw the movie before, and I said the exact same thing he was about to say. It was magnificent. I wish I had it on video.
So I highly recommend Resident Evil 7. Like, can't recommend it enough. And next I'm probably going to be playing Fear or something on stream, because I've never played the Fear games. Do you want to talk about what you experienced in Hades this week? Since you got a little further now.
I played some more Hades. I unlocked the last of the weapons, I think. I don't know if there's more weapons. There might be. I unlocked the machine gun. That was like my last one. And then I upgraded them. Like I told him before, I didn't know that the little red things were like one-time use upgrades for the weapons. So I used 2 of them on the machine gun. And I kind of think that weapon stinks. So I don't really want to use it. But now I can't get my little red things back. But then I got another one because I beat What's-Her-Face, Meg again. And so I got another one.
Yeah, it's like if you beat each boss with a different weapon. So like if you use the gun to kill,
and when
Meg,
you go out, you get it.
You get it. Yeah. So like you can't get more than one with the same weapon on the same boss.
Right.
But like if you use a different weapon on Meg,
there's certain weapons that I've gotten to Meg, and I'm not even coming close to beating her.
Yeah, you have to get used to the play.
I think I beat her with the sword that you start with, the spear, the shield. And I think that's it. I don't think I beat her.
I really like the shield.
I mean, I've beaten her like 15 times, but I think it was all with those 3 weapons. I don't think I've ever beaten her with anything else.
The bow, I can't
use the bow at all. The
fists are fun.
The fist things are fun, but I feel like they're very situational. Like, I like them against certain enemies, but there's other enemies where I straight up cannot beat them.
If you can get stuff like life on hit with the gloves, where you're hitting so fast, like they can become crazy.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there's like a mini boss that's like a crystal, and then a bunch of other crystals come out, and there's lasers going to them. When I have the fists, the gun, or the bow, I literally cannot beat that boss.
Yeah, it's because
it's so hard.
It's because
you just don't do enough damage fast enough to stop all the lasers from covering the whole room.
The fists and the bow and stuff don't really have like AoE damage.
Yeah,
like, the sword can hit multiple enemies. The spear can hit multiple enemies.
And those ones you're just like pew, pew,
so
pew,
focused.
Pew,
yeah,
pew.
And also you need like the deflect or the reflect thing where you can hit projectiles back.
That is kind of a sick one. Yeah, that I get that every time I see it. It says like send it. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's good against Meg too, because she does that thing where she just goes and like all the little purple things come out at you, and you can literally hit her attacks.
Hit them back.
You can just go,
and they do so much damage.
Dude, it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So what is the farthest you've gotten?
After Meg, I've gotten pretty deep into the next area. I beat like
Asphodel.
I've beaten like a couple different mini bosses, but I've never gotten further than that. I usually get to mini bosses, and then I go to like another few rooms, and then I get killed.
Have you gotten to the boss yet of Asphodel?
Nope. Okay.
So he's gonna keep playing that, and I'm trying to talk him into playing some Uncharted so we can talk about the Uncharted series on the podcast, because he hasn't played them.
Dude, I struggle to commit to like a 20+ hour campaign.
Well, they're not that long.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
They're so long.
They're not that long.
How long is Uncharted?
The first Uncharted game you can beat in like 6 hours.
I don't believe that.
100% you can.
I can?
Anyone can. Pop it on normal and start shooting stuff. You can do it in 6 hours. You can
What
do
about
it in
2?
less. I don't know about 2 hours.
2 Uncharted 2.
That one's a little longer.
That one's like 20 hours.
No, it's not.
I swear it is.
Dude, it is not 20 hours long.
It's close. It's at least 10.
They're all really good, though. And you should
I'm actually pretty
playing
sure I
through them.
beat 1 and 2.
Just go back.
I stopped on 3.
Just go back and start cranking through. You'll enjoy them. They're fun. Just
Don't even have enough space on the
Just-
PS4.
Just
Okay.
okay.
Alright.
They're already installed, so you don't have that excuse.
All right.
You don't have that excuse.
What else did you play?
Doom Eternal.
The Ancient Gods Part 1 DLC came out. He bought it. I didn't because I'm broke.
I bought the year 1 pass, which comes with this expansion and the next one, and then some extra stuff, extra goodies.
I mean, I'm definitely going to play it because this is like one of my favorite games I've ever played and definitely one of my favorite games of this year. Top 2, as we went over last week.
So I finished the first mission of the DLC, and then I'm into the second one, the Blood Swamp it's called, which is
That's a
the
nice name.
Blood Swamp.
That's a nice
dude.
name.
Yes. So the first area is like this rainy structure out in the middle of the ocean. It's almost like a big oil rig, but the environment is completely different from everything else in the other two, like the original game of Doom Eternal plus Doom 2016.
Yeah.
It's like thunderstorms, and the DLC treats you like you're a smart person and treats you like you're good at video games because it trusts that you've already finished the main campaign.
And you've gotten good at it.
Yes, you gonna learn to play Doom
You gonna
Eternal.
learn today.
So, right away they hit you with enemies and they throw a lot at you, like right away. There are some very good combat arenas where you fight, and the fights go on, and they feel like Slayer gates in the original game, where like it's just nonstop chaos. You're constantly moving. You're constantly fighting. Like just a regular room feels like that in this game.
That's A1 Doom, baby.
Yeah. Then there's even more Marauders, and I love the Marauders because other people hate them, and I just like love fighting them because people are like, well, it slows down the pace of the game. It changes you from the Doomslayer being on the offensive to being on the defensive, and it's like, dude, he tries to attack you like every 9 seconds, and you can just blast him. And as long as you keep moving,
And as soon as he starts going, you just hit him and he goes,
yeah. So anyway, this DLC, if you like Doom, this is like the next level. It seems like they took the criticisms from the original game where people complained about like excessive platforming or like taking you out of the action away from the Slayer. And they're just like, there's some platforming, and they added new mechanics to the platforming.
I don't really buy any of those complaints, but
any complaints about the game are
stupid.
Yeah, I don't agree with them at all. So after playing the first mission and probably like another 20 minutes of the next on the Blood
Swamp.
Bruh.
This is a sick name, dude.
Blood Swamp.
There's a sick name.
So there's new secrets, there's new collectibles, there's new lore, there's new... So you know how you had those little like perks you could get that like some of them make it so you have better air control in midair, some of them let you glory kill faster and stuff like that. They added new ones there's 3 new ones that give you new abilities that you can unlock with Slayer gates or finding them in the world. And then there's like a new little story that's happening, and there's like other people that are like, Doom Slayer, sir! Like they're they're giving you like your mission objectives and stuff. It's really great.
Was that 2016 or Eternal when you like ripped the badge off the guy?
It was Eternal.
It was Eternal?
It was
okay.
like a couple missions into Eternal where the guy's like,
yeah.
and he just like drags him in the chair over to the thing.
That was such a good part.
So yeah, this DLC is phenomenal. Like, this is what DLC should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, here's a little expansion for you, and they teach you how to play the game again. No.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal says, look, you've beat the game, now grow some hair.
Grow up.
And learn, like, this is how the game is. So, like, after playing this DLC, also, the guy who did the Dusk and a Medieval and stuff, the music, like the metal for that, because
Andrew Holschult.
Because Mick Gordon isn't doing it. He did the music.
Yeah, if there's literally one other person in video game music that I would want to do the Doom music once they said that Mick Gordon wasn't doing it, it would be Andrew Holschult.
So Doom Eternal has arguably the best soundtrack of the year, and then the new tracks.
No, it does.
Yeah, the new tracks are real good. They added new mechanics, a couple new enemies. The game is so much fun and intense and fast-paced. And I think a complaint that people had was that you have to constantly think about all the tools at your disposal and you have to constantly keep using them. And it's like, how is that a complaint?
Dude,
like, other games give you...
Just get good.
Other games give you tools, and you use them once and then move on and never use them again.
It's so dumb.
And it doesn't make sense.
Doom does exactly what you're supposed to do.
But in Doom, like, you see this enemy, you know this weapon is effective, but you can't just, like, sit still and say, it's the 5 key to bring this gun out. No,
I think that I remember that I got this gun earlier.
Yeah, so you have, like, even when you see an enemy and you know how you need to approach them, there's like 50 more enemies that are coming after you the whole time, and you have to constantly keep moving. You have to constantly switch weapons, chainsaw, flamethrower, grenade, and the flow of combat. Like, you get in the zone every time you're fighting a demon. It feels like something that needs to be recorded and put on YouTube because
you feel so cool.
Yeah, exactly. It, like, everything feels like a highlight reel, like, because of how intense it is.
Exactly. Like, if you've ever played, like, obviously, if you've played, like, Call of Duty, Valorant, whatever, online, and you get, like, you make, like, the sickest play, like, you get, like, a triple kill, like, triple headshot, like, you just do some crazy snipe, whatever. Literally every room of Doom, you feel like that.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you do it, and then you're just like, yes!
Like, you'll have literally 3 health left out of 150 and, like, 200 armor. You'll have nothing left. And you'll take down...
a guy.
Yeah, you'll chainsaw a guy, hit a guy with a flamethrower, cut his head off in midair,
turn around,
curb stomp a guy.
Yeah.
Use a grappling hook and shoot over to a guy and super shotgun him. Jump off of a lift, shoot a rocket down, and you just killed like 15 enemies, and in the process gained armor and
heal
health
yourself.
Back. It is like the most incredible game, and after playing this, there is not a game this year that touches Doom Eternal in as far as mechanics and gameplay. Like, Hades is really good, but the intensity of Doom and the way that every piece of the puzzle,
everything you touch has to be used or you will die. Right. It's not just like they gave you this and you can use it. It's like, if you do not use this to the best of its ability, you will die.
Yes. The game shows no mercy. It is 100%. Like, I love The Last of Us Part 2. I love Hades. I really liked Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima. I like Paper Mario. Doom Eternal is Game of the Year. And this DLC, like, after playing the original game, I beat it, I think, 3 times. I beat it on Ultra Violence and then Nightmare again, but I collected all the collectibles. And I also tried some, Ultra Nightmare, where you can't respawn. Yeah, if you die, you start the whole game over. I did runs on that too. And then there's that multiplayer where, like, people play as the demons. But this DLC is, like, next level, like, showcasing what you can do in the game. and the difficulty, the arenas, the gameplay.
I can't wait to play it and die.
It's so good. Like, I can't even express how good this DLC is, and I wish more games had this kind of expansion where it's like
just throws you right back into it. Yeah.
Like, you need to be good at this game. You need to have learned how to play, and now you just have to play. And the settings, the setting of each level so far has been completely different from the other parts of the game, and they just nailed it.
Things you love to see.
I love Doom Eternal. Like, I already have, I think, like, almost 70 hours into the game total.
Shit.
And the game is not that long, so you can see how much time I've put into it. Doom Eternal, Game of the Year. Game of the Year.
Doom Eternal's great.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Like, I haven't stopped thinking about it since I started playing. Like, this morning when I started playing, there's this one combat arena. I died in there, I think, twice, and I did not care because I was like, damn, this is good. Like, this is so good.
Like, the fact that it's pushing me to the limits so far that I'm dead right now makes this a good game.
And that's the thing, is that it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't feel like
cheap.
you're getting cheated. Yeah, it just feels like you need to be better.
It doesn't feel like, oh, I shouldn't have died there. Like, no. You just gotta be better. You had, like... There are times where, like, there's an enemy, and I'm like, I need to get this enemy killed because he's going to be a pain if I leave him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stand still and focus on that enemy or spend too much time, like, strafing in front of them, other enemies are, like, hitting you in the back and the side. It's like, that's your fault. You just have to keep moving. You can focus that enemy, but you have to keep the pressure on and keep moving. I could talk about this all day.
Great game.
Like, whew!
I just wanted to comment because I already shouted him out last week, but if you want to see the combat of Doom Eternal showcased, once again, follow Sunni Legend on Twitter because that guy's nuts. And he did this. I said this last week about The Last of Us 2 to showcase the combat. Doom Eternal as well. He posts some videos of Doom Eternal, like fighting two marauders at a time or whatever, and he'll kill them both in 30 seconds.
Makes it look like it's nothing.
He makes it look so easy. Like, you will watch him do that, and you'll be like, I can do that. And then you'll get in the fight, and you'll die or very much struggle. That guy's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally all he does is crazy combat sequences in, like, single-player games. That's all he does, and it's insane. Great follow on Twitter.
Yes, for sure. All he posts is gameplay clips of just random games, and they're all really cool.
I love following him. Every time he posts, I'm like, dude, that's insane.
He posts them at, like, a really high frame rate, so it showcases like how smooth he is at playing games.
I mean, I could be wrong. He might do this already, but I don't understand how, like, game devs, like, companies aren't hiring him to, like, make trailers to show off their combat. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
He'd be the perfect person to do that.
And Doom Eternal is a perfect game to showcase that because you have, like, I don't know, 10 weapons at your disposal, and you have to constantly...
And some idiot might think you just got to go through with, like, one weapon the whole time and just shoot people.
And that's the thing in Doom. Like, you can love the auto shotgun in that game. You can love it. It could be your favorite weapon, but it's not enough, and it's not going to cut it against a lot of enemies. Like, you have to use the tools.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think it's like every other game, like Call of Duty, Dead Space even, like any game that you play single-player-wise, you find what you like, and then you use it, and that's it. And then you get burnt out because you're just using the same thing over and over, or that's the meta in Call of Duty. I used the growl for 9 million hours in Call of Duty because that was the meta for so long. But in Doom, like, you have to use everything, and that's what keeps it so fresh every single time. Because you never know what demon's going to come, and then you're like, well, I have like 5 different weapon options to fight this thing, and you can quickly rotate through them, and while you're fighting them, you chainsaw.
You have all your weapons, your chainsaw, your flamethrower, your melee, you're doing your glory kills.
You have regular grenades,
you have ice grenades, dude. It's so good.
This DLC, I think it's $20, or you can pay $30.
Can we get another chef's kiss?
So I think it's $20 for the Ancient Gods Part 1, and then you can also get the Year 1 pass and get both expansions plus extra stuff, and I think it's like $30, so it's $10 instead of $40.
I'm gonna purchase
it. It's $30 instead of $40.
I'm gonna purchase it. I just haven't yet.
I gotta say, this expansion, or this DLC, is the best DLC I've played in, like, 10 years.
Would you give it a chef's kiss?
Chef's kiss.
That's what I thought.
Doom Eternal, with this DLC now, it's my game of the year so far. Cyberpunk could potentially take that spot, but also, will Cyberpunk let me chop people's heads off and curb stomp enemies?
Probably not.
Chainsaw zombies in half.
Probably not.
Fight a cyber demon. Like,
Also,
I doubt it.
Also, probably not.
Will it let me grappling hook with a shotgun across the map?
Directly into someone's chest and then just
Light them on fire and blow them to bits? I highly doubt it.
Dude,
So-
like you could do cocaine, or you could just play Doom Eternal.
Mm-hmm. It's, for me, it's a masterpiece.
You shouldn't.
It's a
But you could.
masterpiece. You could.
Masterpiece.
So yeah, Doom DLC, highly recommend. Highly recommend.
All right, we
so
talked
far.
about Resident Evil 7, Warzone, Hades, and the Doom Eternal Ancient Gods Part 1 DLC. The last thing we're going to talk about is the ding dong on Twitter who works for Google Stadia or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Or he like developed games for the Stadia. Or
And
something.
he put the tweets on Twitter about how
tweeted.
he tweeted that he thinks streamers should have to pay game developers to play their games because it is because of the game developers and their games that the streamers are big. So let's just dismiss that right off the start. Like, wrong. Just flat out wrong. You're telling me that someone like Dr. Disrespect has his followers because of a game. Which game? Which game is responsible for him having his character be huge? He has people currently dressing up like him for a whole month of October. And you're telling me that's what? That's because they like Call of Duty?
Or PUBG.
Or PUBG or
H1Z1.
H1 or whatever he's playing at the time? No. Get out of my face with that. First of all, everyone's using the example of Among Us, which is very obvious. The game was out for 2 years. No one played it. No one even touched it. It had like a peak concurrent players of 6 or something, and now there's like 60 million players in the world or some crap like that because all the biggest streamers started playing it 2 years later, and all of a sudden the game blew up. So guess what? I bet those developers are pretty happy that those streamers played the game, and the streamers didn't pay them for it, but guess what? They got paid because of it.
Honestly, if anything, Twitch should be paying the devs for having someone earn so much revenue on there, like Twitch, YouTube.
Jeff Bezos give up money?
Yeah, I know.
What?
But like Twitch is making money hand over fist from
From
games,
everybody.
from the
the
streamers.
game, the streamers.
But you're
everyone.
saying streamers, like, I stream all the time. You're telling me I have to pay to play a game that I already paid for on stream when I'm not even making money streaming it? Like,
Exactly.
you're high.
There's people who buy a game just to stream it or just to play with their friends on stream. There's people who buy a game because they watched a streamer play it. Like the other day, I'm just trying to think of an example. Like the other day, they played Among Us. A bunch of big streamers played Among Us with AOC. AOC had like 450,000 viewers or something. Plus, all of the streamers each had thousands and thousands.
Right.
Like Lupo had like 30,000, like stuff like that. Like you're telling me if 30-some thousand people are watching Dr. Lupo play this game with like this politician that they like or whoever that they like, and they see how fun it is, and they say, "Oh, that was cool," like whatever, and they go buy Among Us. Is that not good for everyone involved?
Mm-hmm. And usually when new games come out, sure, you can watch reviews or read reviews.
There's
but
nothing like watching
it's
the
better, yeah, to just watch.
game and getting a raw opinion from
and
the streamer.
if there's a streamer that you already
I've done
like,
that.
yeah, if there's a streamer you already like and you trust their opinion and you agree with their like thoughts
Views on
games,
those things, yeah.
and say that, like, I don't know, Pikmin 3 comes out at the end of the month, and a streamer is playing Pikmin 3, and you're like, I don't know if I want to play it or not, and they're like, check this shit out, and like they're playing it,
Yeah.
and it looks great.
They're literally,
which by the way, Pikmin 3 is really good, but
they're literally like the game developers' salespeople almost. Like they're advertising, marketing for you. They're selling the game to people. I mean, it could go, obviously, it could be negative as well if they hate it, if they don't like something about it.
Mhm.
But like, if your game is good enough and you're confident in it, then streamers playing it should be a very good thing. You should want stream. There's a reason that people are paying streamers to play their game. Like, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, like
Rogue Company.
Rogue Company, yeah, is paying tons of people to play their game because it's getting eyes on the game, and
Courage is getting paid to play it. Doc's getting paid to play it. Who else do we see? Cloaksy played it and got
Tim
paid.
the Tatman played it.
They were all getting paid to play that. These are guys that average 20, 30, 40,000 viewers at a time, like all day. They stream for like 8 to 10 hours a day.
And if you get Lil Jimmy to play Rogue Company, Lil Jimmy plays and then says, "Oh man, I need my friends." He tells
4 of his friends to play,
and now he's got a squad playing, and now
I don't know.
And so it just exponentially.
We can talk
grows.
about this so much, but like this dude's just stupid. Like, I'm so glad that the internet came together to disagree with this guy.
And the same thing with these DMCA things.
Oh, yeah.
With the music. Like, I know that T Swift doesn't want her song to be played on some guy's stream.
That's the thing, though.
But like,
T Swift probably doesn't give a crap.
Yeah. It's
what her
like
record
the
label
labels
does.
And stuff. And because all they want is money. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
But like, when Dr. Disrespect makes a YouTube video and shares all the artists and the songs, like, it's doing nothing but helping the artist.
Dude, the guy that made his music, his name's like J+1 or whatever. The guy that did like the Alleyways song, he did Give Him the Love, like he did a bunch of those songs. That guy is literally like making money off of his music, and he was previously making nothing. And Doc literally said, "Hey, I'll pay you to write these songs for me." And when people listen to it on Spotify and crap, it's under his name, and he's making money off of it thanks to Doc.
And also think about the fact that people like Z-Laner and Doug is Raw were like no one until all of a sudden Doc said, "I'm going to play with these guys," and now they're blowing up and making a ton of money. And it's like, should Doc be paying them to play? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's complete shenanigans. Like, people can stream whatever they want. They should be able to. When big streamers especially... Okay, first of all, when little... back on the music DMCA thing, when little streamers... Like, if I play music, I get, like, 2 viewers. So, if I play music on my stream, who's that hurting? It's not hurting anyone. No one's listening to it. Like, I pay for my music. Like, I have, like, streaming services that I use that I paid for it already. So... who's that hurting? It's not hurting a single person. Then, once it gets to the scale of a big streamer, like Nick Merckx, who's averaging 50k viewers, he decides to play any artist's song. Guess what he just did? He just showed 50,000 people your song.
And if even 10% of those people like the song...
Even if 10 of those people total liked the song, they go listen to it. Now they like this new artist. They follow him on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. Then they tell their friend about it. Oh, now they like it. Dude, you could have just gained so many people. And this is like constantly throughout the day. This is happening. And he could be doing this for like smaller artists. He could be doing this for bigger artists, like whatever. You could just introducing people to new music, letting people just chill and listen to the music they want to listen to. And they can't because record companies.
Yeah, unfortunately the laws and like however they regulate music and stuff on streams and YouTube is way out of date.
It's insane.
Because they don't take into consideration the fact that the internet is so big and there's so many opportunities for growth via streaming.
I know Twitch has a new thing that's like their own music thing that they're letting people stream music from Twitch. There's like people in a beta program for it right now. But so obviously it's like Twitch approved music, which first of all, I don't understand how they don't just set it up with like Amazon Music because Amazon owns Twitch. So why can't they just figure something out with their Amazon Music stuff? I mean, I guess there's a lot more to it than I realize with the legal stuff, but somehow integrate that so that Twitch says, here's a library of 5 million songs that we've already cleared or paid for that are no copyright claims are going to happen. Have at it.
And that's the thing is like how what is it? High Res made Rogue Company.
Yeah.
How High Res paid Tim the Tatman to stream Rogue Company to get viewers. Why doesn't
a small musical artist,
right? I don't know why I can't think of anybody, but
someone who's unknown,
yeah,
or not that well
a
known,
band, a singer, whatever. Why don't they just say, "Hey, Tim the Tatman, if you like this song,
play it on your stream.
Play it on your stream." Like that is automatic advertising, and it makes total sense for big record labels to say
like if
hey,
I played music, I would try to figure out a way to get that on
like
somebody's
say,
stream.
"Hey Shroud, hey Ninja, hey this, hey that. This new album's coming out by our artist that's on our record label. Play this album, you're allowed to, on your next stream, and we'll give you, whatever, $10,000.
Money.
It's getting tons of advertising, the artist is going to grow, and Ninja is seen playing the music.
Right.
It
makes sense for everybody.
Sense.
It's good
it helps
for
everyone in the whole thing because now
it's
Ninja can
completely
play
ridiculous
music.
that this is even a conversation, to be honest.
Right. Now
there's the biggest Twitch streamers in the world are deleting every single VOD and clip they've ever had. Dr. Lupo literally streamed his monitor auto-deleting all his clips the other day. Yeah. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even at his PC, and he streamed it, and it deleted 59,000 hours of VODs or something.
Yeah, he had 500,000
everything he's ever done.
Yeah,
it's just gone because he's going to get copyright claimed, and Twitch doesn't tell him what they're copyright claiming. They just say, hey, something is bad, and we could sue you for it. And he's just like, okay, but what? And they go, good luck.
Yeah, it's really, really outdated laws and rules, and just allowing them to play random artist music or whatever would help everybody, just like playing games helps everybody.
I know there's people who have gone off on their own and done that sort of thing. Jericho owns his own record company called Night Mode, where he literally created it just to sign people that would be DMC free music, and he lets them, you can play it on anything, you can put it in YouTube videos, on Twitch, whatever, but he only has so many artists and so many songs because he can only do so much,
right?
And then that Harris Heller dude who makes YouTube videos, he has that Stream Beats thing, and it has a ton of music on it. But why do these people have to do this? In order, it's insane that they have to start their own business or take their time to do this just so people can play music.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I honestly think they need to update the standard for all this stuff.
Yeah, somebody needs to figure it out. It's insane.
I mean, I can imagine all your favorite streamers are just getting banned because of
that stuff.
Some random music.
We still don't know what Doc got thrown off of Twitch for. It could be something involving that. It legitimately could be something involving a DMCA strike.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And imagine Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo,
gets
Nick
banned.
Merckx, all those people all of a sudden gone.
Dude,
and just can't stream on Twitch because they're just
well, it's I was telling you guys the other day that there's a K-pop band that obviously they haven't been able to perform concerts because of the Rona, so they wanted to play something for their fans or sing something for their fans. I don't know if K-pop actually plays instruments. Sing something for their fans, and so they made a Twitch account, and they go on their own Twitch account and play their own music and sing it, and their VODs got copyright striked by their own record label. It was them.
It doesn't
It was their own music.
Any sense at all.
They sang their own music and got copyright claimed.
And I was listening to the Play Watch Listen podcast with Alana Pierce and Troy Baker and Austin Wintry, who Austin is the guy who composed Journey.
Mm.
And you know that new game that's coming out for PS5? I forget what it's called right now. But it's one of those it's a 3D game that kind of looks like a Zelda type game they showed at the PlayStation showcase. Well, he said when Journey was first coming out, he was trying to put the soundtrack on YouTube so people could watch it, and he said I waited a week after the game came out because he didn't want, like, part of the experience of Journey is the music. So he started putting his music up for the game, and he got copyright striked on YouTube, even though he was like, hey, I work for the company, I wrote the music, it's fine. And they were like, yeah, that sucks. And he was just like, it doesn't make any sense.
So crazy, dude. That's like, I haven't seen anything involving it, but I know, like, T-Pain has been streaming, and I was wondering, like, if he played, like, not even sang it, but if he played his own music, he'd get copyright strike.
For his own
like,
thing.
He's the streamer, he's the one that made the music, and he'd still get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, and that guy on Twitter is a moron.
Yeah, the guy that said that just...
And if anyone is paying
Get out.
game developers for streams, it is Twitch and YouTube and Facebook,
also, he
who
said
have all the money in the world to pay.
He said
game
they
devs.
should pay game devs to play their game on stream, but it's like they already paid them for the game.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want them to do?
And they're getting eyes on your game.
Yeah.
Faster than anything else.
It's more beneficial.
Could. I guarantee a big streamer playing your game is better for your marketing than buying a commercial. I guarantee.
100%, because people are actually paying attention to it. They're actively engaged in it. You know what happens when a commercial comes on my TV for a game? I'm getting up and going to the bathroom or finding something to drink.
Right.
You know what happens when I'm watching Ninja play a video game? I'm watching Ninja play the video game. That's it. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Alright. That is going to be it, I think, for this week.
Yeah.
After we ranted for a good 20 minutes about that. And I went off about how good Doom Eternal is.
Doom Eternal's good!
It's real good.
It's good!
So, what are we going to talk about next week, you think?
No idea. Whatever we play and whatever happens. We kind of just wing it.
Yep. So, whatever we play this next week, I'm probably going to be playing Fear. I'm going to be wrapping up my level for Blocktober in Proteus, which, by the way, is coming along. I think it looks pretty good so far.
I think it's beautiful myself, mate.
I'm emulating Doom Eternal in my level and making a nice little combat arena. And then I'm going to have an interesting mechanic to close out the level. The level is not going to be super long, but I just wanted it to be able to be...
It's like a speed run.
Yeah, I want it to be something that has interesting mechanics. There's enemies to fight, but you can also speed run it, even though there is a combat arena where you have to wipe the enemies in order to move on. And then I'm also working on a game length video talking about, like, are games too long, are games too short, that kind of thing. That I'm putting that to the side kind of while I work on my level, but once my level is done, the video is going to be my main focus other than streaming. Like, those will be
that'll
the
be done
two
soon.
things. Yeah, so the next couple weeks I'll have my level done. I'll do a YouTube video with a playthrough of the level and a showcase of how it looks. And I'll have a video on video game length. I'm tempted to do a video about Doom Eternal's DLC because it's so damn amazing. And my brother here...
I just wanted to let you know that I pulled a Skizor Secret Rare Rainbow VMAX this week because I've been opening Pokemon cards because I like them. Anyway, besides that... I'm going to be playing Warzone on stream. I'm probably going to try to play more Hades this week. I really want to beat that game, but I suck at it.
And you're going to start playing
And I might start playing Uncharted. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to be playing Warzone on stream. I'm trying to get some daytime streams in during the weekdays, usually in like the afternoonish time, like 1 to 2 I'll start. Twitch.tv/Midsofting. I also have a couple Call of Duty videos I recently put up on my YouTube at Midsofting on YouTube. He's also RedSockQ4 on YouTube, so you can look out for all those videos that he was talking about. He's also RedSockQ4 on Twitch, where he'll be playing Fear soon. That's going to be it for this week's podcast.
Also, I might get the coronavirus because
Allegedly, someone he works with may have had it, so he seems fine. We'll figure it out.
But if that's the case, then I'll be home for a few weeks to play video games during the day and work even more to get more content out. So,
yep. Or there won't be a next week's podcast because we could both be dead.
That also is true. But next week is our Halloween podcast.
It is. So we're probably going to turn the lights off and be extra spooky.
Spooky.
If our faces weren't scary enough. All right. That's going to be it for this week's podcast. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. And we will... This is episode 6. Yeah, episode 6 of the Hard Mode Gaming Podcast. And we will see you next week for episode 7. Dun, 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 dun.